Today, I'll be sharing my secrets for looking hot over 50. And I don't mean hot flash hot. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Why is it almost taboo for a woman, especially a woman over 50, to label herself as being hot? Society loves to tell us that after we reach a certain age, we are supposed to take a step back, sort of fade into the background. And if we do possess a high level of self-assurance, that is often perceived as cockiness or being conceited. We're taught that wanting to look and feel desirable, vibrant, and yes, hot is somehow vain. Personally, I think it's time we flip the script. Now, let's be totally real for a second. I am not waking up every day trying to be a bombshell. Some days my attempt at looking my best is simply brushing my hair, pulling it back into a ponytail, and slapping on some moisturizer and sunscreen. And let me be incredibly clear. I'm not doing this for the male gaze. This isn't about seeking outside validation, nor is it about trying to look like a 22-year-old. I do it because I feel better, even if I'm not going anywhere. Sometimes just sitting down at my vanity and playing with my makeup or doing my hair, trying out a new hairstyle, it simply boosts my mood. And I know a lot of people don't quite understand that. If you're someone who doesn't quite understand that, you've probably already exited out of this video. So today I'm breaking down what I think is the ultimate blueprint for looking and feeling your absolute best during this chapter of your life. So if you're ready to claim your confidence, grab a coffee, a tea, a water, a cocktail, and let's dive into number one. And it starts with the literal frame of your face. You might already think you know what looks good on you, but finding your exact subseason can be a total game changer. For years, I thought that I knew I was a spring. Then after doing a deeper dive into subseasons, it became obvious to me that I am a bright spring. Suddenly, the confusion in my closet disappeared and my confidence in my outfits skyrocketed. When you wear the right colors, it completely transforms your skin. It minimizes dark circles, it brightens the eyes, and it makes you look vibrant without changing a single thing about your face. Now, just because I know that I am a bright spring, that doesn't mean that I don't go outside of my season and occasionally try light spring colors, especially when it comes to my makeup. When you are in your main season, you can play around with your subseasons and just see what you feel looks best on you. Personally, my best cheek colors are either bright pinks or bright, vibrant peaches. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's all fine and good, but how do I find my color season without spending hundreds of dollars on an expert analysis? Well, thanks to the internet and social media, there are so many avenues you can go down to find your color season and your subseason. There are apps you can use. There are filters on TikTok you can use. And of course, if you can afford it, go and see a specialist, someone whose only job is to determine your color season. I'm sure you've seen it before, where they take different colors of fabric, lay them down across your chest, under your chin, and that is how they help you to see what they're saying in determining your color season. I promise you, once you know your season and your subseason and you start changing your clothing and your makeup to fit into your season, you too are going to feel exponentially more confident and hotter. My second tip for looking and feeling your best over 50 is something a lot of you may be aware of, but aren't actually doing, which is really upping your protein intake. But again, let's be real. Trying to hit those fitness and wellness goals at this time of our lives is not easy. We're busy or we're just tired. Maybe you've been feeling a little down. There's a lot going on in these midlife and later years. So for me, using a meal delivery service like Cook Unity has been game changing. It has literally made my daily life so much easier. I do much less grocery shopping. There's no mess with these meals. With Cook Unity, every single week, I have up to 300 meals to choose from. So it helps me to make better food choices without getting bored. You can either cook them in the oven for about 15 minutes, or I pop them in the microwave for anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the meal. Today, I'm having the blackened shrimp and fresh corn grits by Chef Chris Rattel. He actually leads kitchen teams in major food cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. So this is legitimate restaurant quality food. This one meal has 33 grams of protein. That is so much more than I ever get from anything I try to make myself for lunch. And the whole process is just incredibly easy. You set your preferences on their website, pick your meals for the week, heat and plate them, and repeat. Just so you know, I have been using Cook Unity since April. I have tried so many of their meals. I do want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to try Cook Unity yourself, they're offering 50% off your first order. You just have to use the link down below in the description box and my code Risa50. And after you get that first order and you figure out which meals are your favorites, you can easily just reorder those or try something new. Of course, some of you out there watching may be great at cooking. You love making your own meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or maybe you just eat lunch and dinner. Regardless, that is not me. I just open the refrigerator and stare, and then maybe end up making myself a turkey sandwich. Or in some cases, I just grab some turkey meat and a slice of cheese and call it lunch. So if that sounds familiar to you, I highly recommend checking out Cook Unity. I get my protein, I get restaurant quality food, but something you don't want to do as you get older is become too thin, because when you become too thin, it actually ages you. Now, I'm not talking about people who become thin from some sort of medical condition, illness. I'm speaking to those of you who are on a weight loss journey, or maybe you're like me and you're trying to maintain a certain weight. Eating less and slowing down your metabolism isn't helpful. You want to make sure you're eating the right amount of calories for you and your goals. And for me, protein, hitting that protein goal every day is such a huge issue. So again, I'm really thankful for meal delivery. And I also reach for those meals when my husband is out of town. He is the cook in our family, so he typically makes dinners. But when he's away, those Cook Unity meals come in clutch. The third thing I want to mention when it comes to your hotness journey is something you most likely are not even thinking about. You probably know, in fact, I know you already are aware that people are attracted to and respond to confidence. And again, as I said in the intro, this is not about attracting the male gaze. It's about how you are perceived when you're out in the world, how you're treated. And the reality is, if we walk into a room with our head held high, our shoulders back, posture good, we are going to radiate confidence, youth, and vitality. Slouching instantly ages a silhouette, while great posture projects an energetic, fit vibe before you even say a word. So my recommendation is to focus on mobility and core strength. And you can do that with Pilates or even something as simple as targeted stretching. Open up the chest, drop your shoulders, and a proud, aligned posture is going to change the way your clothes hang on your body. This can make even a simple, inexpensive outfit look high-end. Speaking of fashion, that brings me to my fourth bullet point in our plan of action to achieve hotness. Our clothing choices are important. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you are most likely aware that I always preach to wear what you love. And I do not subscribe to the theory that someone is too old to wear something. If you're over 40, you're too old to wear a miniskirt. If you're over 50, you're too old to show your arms or to wear shorts. If you're over 60, it's a one-piece swimsuit only. Those rules are so antiquated and, in my opinion, ridiculous. However, everyone is entitled to their own opinions and also to change their minds about what they feel is sexy or classy or age appropriate. My personal fashion guidelines are different at age 53 than they were at age 43. Most people don't realize until they're way past the age how young they really were and how young they really looked in their 30s and in their 40s. We are not living our grandmother's 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So we have to throw out all those old rules and go with what feels right for each of us individually. At 40, I was fine showing little cleavage and wearing a mini skirt. Nowadays, if I'm showing cleavage, which I'm fine with doing, I'm going to make sure that I'm wearing something a little bit longer, like in this photo here. I felt so good in this House of CB dress. I received so many compliments. My husband loved it. I truly felt like $1,000,000. Now, have there been instances where I have shown a little cleavage and had a dress that some might deem too short? Probably. But if that were the case, it's probably because I didn't think the dress was too short. Now, of course, I think people should dress situation appropriate. I was going out in Vegas in that dress. I would not wear it to go to someone's wedding. I've actually noticed something in the comments of not just my fashion videos or outfit of the day videos, but on other mature beauty or fashion content creators' pages, there's getting to be less and less of that "you're too old to wear that" commentary. I love to hear feedback from viewers that let me know that what I've said or what I've worn has inspired them to step out of their comfort zone. Perhaps you have a dress in your closet that you just thought was too short and you felt very uncomfortable wearing. If you are questioning if that dress is too short and your gut is telling you it's too short, then it most likely is. But if you put on that dress and you can bend over without showing everybody everything, and you look in the mirror and you think, gosh, I look so good in this dress and I feel so good in this dress, I want you to wear it. I've had instances where I have tried on a dress that my husband would probably say, nah, that's not too short, it looks great. I don't feel comfortable, so I will pass on the dress. But the bottom line is your opinion is the one that matters. At this age, we should be at a point where we do not care what other people think of us. We are walking into that room, again, head held high, great posture. Maybe we're working an outfit that's perfect for our color season or our sub-season, and we are projecting hotness as soon as we walk into that room. And that is what's going to get heads to turn. And lastly, I want to talk about hair. Hair is a huge topic amongst middle-aged and older women. For my mother's and grandmother's generations, if a woman had long hair over 40 or heaven forbid 50, she was ridiculed. She was judged as someone who just can't come to terms with their age. You had to cut your hair to your shoulders or even shorter in order to be, once again, age appropriate. I hate that term. But in the past decade or so, we have seen so many beautiful women in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s keep their longer hair, and it actually looks beautiful on them. And you can tell that it makes them look and feel more confident. Now, of course, we may disagree on who looks better with short hair and who looks better with long hair, but when you're ready, maybe for a change, you do have to have a heart-to-heart with yourself, which is what I did recently when I decided to cut my hair and take out my extensions. Obviously, I didn't cut it super short. I cut it back in February, so it has been a few months now that I've had this shorter do, so it's longer than it was back in February when I originally cut it. And now I'm thinking I want to take that inch that it has likely grown in that time and go back to even slightly shorter. I just feel like it was the move for me to bring life back into my hair, to make it healthier. It's more flattering to my face. Yes, I'll admit sometimes I miss being able to pile it up on the top of my head without having little pieces hanging down, but it's fine. It's a trade-off. Now I just sort of slick it back into like a low bun versus something high, but I love my shorter hair. My hope is that if you're out there watching and just clinging onto your longer hair because you truly feel like it makes you look younger, I'm not telling you to cut it. What I'm saying is maybe see what it would look like using one of those apps that show you different hairstyles. I know that my generation, Gen X, we're kind of scarred by the haircuts we got in the 70s and 80s as a child or as a teen. So many of us are clinging onto our long hair for dear life. So while I do believe that if you are of a certain age and you have long hair and you love it, you should definitely keep it. Cutting my hair took my confidence from to ooh, but not every day. Don't get me wrong. Some days I'm still down here. But if I'm having a good hair day, that changes everything. And it's so much easier for me to have a good hair day to manage my hair at this length. So there they are. Those are my tips for anyone out there who has maybe looked at my photo or maybe looked at another woman over 50's photo or someone over 60 and thought, gosh, they look so put together. I know that heads turn when they walk into a room. They look hot and I want to know their secrets. Hopefully this video gave you at least some of that insight, and hopefully you will put some of my recommendations to use. Please let us all know in the comment section what you do when you want to feel hot. I'd love to hear from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to check out Cook Unity. Use my promo code for 50% off your first order. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you in the Risa Does Makeup family. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find me over on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. My username is the same everywhere. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.